our thoughts, our opinions on it, and it's trending. So of course we're gonna talk about it. I mean, that's what we have to do, right? And I want to talk about it because it's trending, and not just that, but also it's one of my favorite movies of 2022. I put it as number three, I believe, for top movies of 2023 in my opinion. And so we do want to talk about more of it. So make sure that you are following us. We're going to be discussing it more. We do have another video on the menu as well this week, and more along the lines of talking about the movie itself, but also a lot of the online discourse for this movie that is just interesting to me. Because when this movie first, I saw it at Fantastic Fest last year, I was expecting everybody was just going to go out and enjoy this movie. But I'm seeing so many, well, for the most part, I am seeing most people do enjoy seeing this movie when they get to watch it. We're also live on YouTube. It's in our bio if you want to check us out over there. We do more lives and longer video forms as well. We're live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So I'm trying to look at both cameras. But yeah, like I said, I watched the menu last year at Fantastic Fest, and when I watched it back then in September, I was so excited once this was going to come out in November of last year. I was like, okay, I think people are going to be excited about this movie. I think it's going to be a good movie. And now we got get it on streaming, and everybody has a chance to watch it, and I'm excited that it's getting more attention and more people are watching it. And I'm just curious, what did y'all think about the menu? If you're watching me, whether you're watching me on TikTok or on YouTube, what did you think about the menu? Let me know in the comments or in the chat box, wherever, because I'm curious to see, because now I'm seeing a lot of videos that are very differing. Some people are saying it was not good, some people are saying it was amazing, other people are saying it's not that deep, but I don't think the menu is ever trying to be that deep. But that's just my opinion right there. But I do want to talk about the movie. Thank you for the likes over here on TikTok as well. Really appreciate that. We're also live on YouTube. It's in our bio. We do more longer videos over there. But I'm curious to know what everybody's thoughts are on the menu, the ending and everything. That cheeseburger that just looked amazing. I don't think I was the only one that after seeing that went to go get a cheeseburger after seeing just how great that was served up right there by Mr. Voldemort. Very much so a big fan of Ralph Fiennes. Very good actor. Anya Taylor just had a year as well, like Jenna Ortega and Nia Goff. So I'm excited to see more of these actors. We're here to talk about the ending. We're here to talk about the movie itself. Anything y'all want to talk about? Let me fix this light over here because we got a little problem right there. All right, so we should be good over there. But yeah, this movie I thought was great. I thought that everything about it was funny. It was a good satire, very much so. Didn't try to take itself too seriously, I think, the menu. It just knew what it wanted to be at the end of the day. It's by the same people who did Secession, which is another satire on HBO, which I do recommend checking out. If you enjoyed the menu, definitely go check out Secession. Start at season 1, and I'm serious, you're going to love it. And my light just went off right there. So we got a little dark and spooky now, didn't we? But no, I did enjoy so much about this movie just because of that aspect that it was a darker feeling movie. Let me turn on this light. Let me give you a little bit more light over here. But overall, I did enjoy it. Like I said, I think that it definitely knew what type of movie it was from the beginning. It was never trying to be something deeper, and that's why I enjoyed the most out of it. Is it was just trying to be the film it was going to be, a funny, dark horror comedy movie. Let me check my audio on YouTube, y'all. All right, we're good on YouTube. So overall, I did enjoy the menu. The ending I thought was great. I really enjoyed how they very much so developed that ending, and it just threw me by surprise, honestly. That s'mores, everything. Of course, we're talking spoilers here, so let me know if you're watching this, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube. Did you enjoy the menu? What did you think about it? We're going to make a long video this week talking more about that because the discourse on this movie is crazy. It's one that I think is one of the most divisive films, and I didn't think that. Like, you watch a movie and you know it's going to be divisive, like Babylon. You know that's going to be divisive. The menu I thought was more straight to the point, simpler, thriller type movie, and you just think everybody's going to love this. It's just fun, in my opinion. But now I'm seeing the discourse and it doesn't look so fun, right? So let me know what y'all thought about the menu if you're watching this right now, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? What didn't you like? All of that. I'm curious to know what y'all thought about this movie. I thought that this movie didn't try to take itself seriously, like I said. It very much so is a satire comedy. I think that the whole thing with Chef and everything he presents can be taken to a deeper meaning if you want to, but at the same time, I enjoy the menu that it is just, if you want to take those deep meaning routes, you can take those. If you don't want to take those, you don't have to. Just enjoy it for what it is. And I myself loved it. I love watching it. I've watched it twice already, and I watched it with a bunch of people, and every time the whole audience loved it. And the first time I watched it, just took it straight as it was, a good thriller comedy, and I enjoyed it very much. The twists and turns that happen, especially going in not knowing anything about this movie, you just really enjoy watching this movie. These twists and turns, seeing these characters react for the first time to when Chef really turns the tables right on them is just crazy. The finance bros, the married couple, the magazine person with the snobby food critic, the actor who's in denial of everything, and then the boyfriend or whatever you want to call whatever he was to Margot, who is just delusional and is living in some sort of bubble, and then Chef just turns the tables on them and you just see their reactions. And I thought that was a great first time I watched it, loved it. Second time I went to watch this, I just want to see everybody's reactions, right? You're just sitting there, you know, when you show something to a friend and you're ready for them to just see their reactions, you're just waiting, you're just like, oh, we're about to get to the scene that I know they're going to freak out because they did not see coming. And then when that scene happens, and to me that was with the sous chef, that Chef very much so presented to everybody, and we know what happened next, right? That was the scene I was waiting, and then you see these other scenes play out, and you see how these people that you're watching it react. I thought it was such a good experience with the menu, and it made me enjoy the movie even more after that. So I think that this is a movie that I feel is getting so much like heat for no reason. I mean, I can see some of the things that people didn't like, but overall I enjoyed it, and that's just my 2 cents. And I went over that whole explanation of why I enjoyed it so much. But we're here talking about it. Let me know what y'all thought about it. If you're watching, if you're joining the live, I really appreciate you watching. Follow us here on TikTok or YouTube on our bio. It is definitely where we talk more movies. But let's talk about that whole ending and everything about it, because I feel like there's so much like theories being pointed out there. So I am making a full video on this, but I'm going to quickly touch up on it. And that's the theory that what happened to Margot at the end of the menu. Did she really eat that meat that had gone bad already? So if you don't remember, in the menu they had actually talked about this meat that was supposedly only to be aged for a certain amount of days. Once it aged even more than 1 day, it was supposedly bad, and the bacteria and everything would get into you and potentially just expire you as well. So I was going through trying to figure out what was going on. My hair's a mess. That's why I'm wearing the beanie. But I was trying to figure out what exactly this all meant, and I went to go rewatch it again, those clips and everything. And I was trying to see, like, is there really a point where we can see that she's eating the expired meat and it's already been too long? So I was able to look up different clocks throughout the movie, and there's nothing really too conclusive about it. One of the last clocks I see said something like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. And that was when she goes to go get the barrel, and the one that Chef sends her to get when he's going to do the whole s'mores thing. So I don't know exactly when the exact time would be for her to very much so eat the meat and be expired, or if that even is the same meat at all. And I think it's a very interesting theory, and I do go and talk about it more in the video I have coming up on my YouTube channel later this week. Link in the bio if y'all want to go check that out. But I do have more that I'm looking into this whole theory, because I found that interesting. I watched the movie twice, and the second time I did watch it, I did catch on to that little detail that they were saying about the meat. But I really wasn't like thinking that's the same meat Margot's eating. But now that theory made me start thinking about, is that actually the meat that Margot's eating? And so I definitely am interested to see if that is something. Now, the directors and the writers haven't come out to say much about that. I think they very much imply that Margot is still alive, and it would definitely kind of take away from the story if she wasn't, right? If she was expired as well, because she sort of was the one that reignited in Chef that whole thing with cooking and getting back into the passion of it as well, which is the reason that she was even let go in the first place. So I would definitely find it interesting if she were to actually have not survived all of this. It would have felt cheap for the movie, in my opinion. So I don't really buy into this whole theory that she might have expired from eating that cheeseburger, and I have it on the YouTube channel, so that's what I'm pointing at. So I don't think that she actually did expire from the cheeseburger as that theory is pointing out, but I do want to talk about that theory, and that video will be out tomorrow on my YouTube channel, going more in depth about that, if it's true or if it's not. So very much so, I enjoyed this movie. Like I said, let me know what y'all thought if you're watching this, if you enjoyed the movie or not, because I see so many different opinions on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere, Twitter. This movie was more polarizing than I expected it to be for the most part. I think for the most part it's loved universally, but we'll see how it does now that it's on streaming and it's picking up more traction as it's getting more popular now, I feel. If you're watching on TikTok, really appreciate you joining. Make sure you follow us for more movie news and check out our YouTube channel as well. And if you're on YouTube, really appreciate you as well watching right now. Like I said, we got a bunch of videos planned this week. We have more horror movies to talk about. Our Scream 6 theories are just getting started. We already put out one last week about a cult. So if y'all want to talk about more horror stuff and all of that, let me know in the chat, and also follow us for more. But overall, I'm a fan of the menu. I enjoyed it. I think it did its job. Like I said, it wasn't trying to be that deep ever, in my opinion. I think it was just trying to be a good, funny thriller, and that's exactly what it gave us at the end of the day, right? It gave us a good, funny thriller that just added a little social commentary sprinkled throughout. It wasn't trying to be this whole movie that was going to leave you like with a brain blast thinking, I have just found the answers I was always looking for. I think at the end of the day, it is just a movie that you watch to sort of have a good laugh or two. Like I said, I don't know about this whole theory about Margot eating the meat that has expired, like many people are pointing out. I really don't see that one, especially because when I went to go look back into that and try to find if there was any sort of explanation to that, I couldn't find it. I couldn't see anything explaining that the meat was expired, and I feel it would have taken a lot away from her character as well if that was the case. So let me know what y'all thought about the movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? There was so much, I think, also to talk about the characters as well, and I enjoyed this. I really would love to see these writers and directors take on some more of these social commentary movies, which I think are great. Like I said, if you enjoyed this movie, Succession is definitely your show, because the same type of humor and the same type of style and everything with the rich people and all of that is done in Succession so well. And Anya Taylor having such a great year as well. Like, I was a couple of weeks talking about on the YouTube channel how Jenna Ortega and Mia Goth had such big years, but I think Anya Taylor is one also that had one of the biggest years as well. And going into her being Furiosa in the next Mad Max movie is something I think that's going to be seen, because I think that she is one of those stars for sure, and we're definitely going to see a lot of her pretty soon. So I'm excited to see her in more movies in the coming, this year I'm pretty sure we're going to see her in Furiosa, so we'll see how that does for sure. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and your opinions on the menu. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? What else would you have loved to see done here? I think for me, honestly, when I watched it the first time, it felt a little short. I was expecting a little bit more, and when it was close to ending, I was kind of sad it was ending, because I was like, I want to see a little bit more. I like the whole thing, waiting for that next course and the anticipation for the next clap and everything. And then once you get to that next dish, you're just like, what is this guy gonna do next, right? Because he's already doing the whole tortilla thing, was just like crazy. And I love the way when the lady's just saying it's tortillas and it's deliciosas. It was just funny to me watching it. And I think especially if you ever work somewhere and you go into these jobs and you go especially into the service industry and all of that, and I think it definitely gets you a little bit more like into the movie, seeing the jokes and everything that happened, and I really did enjoy that. So really appreciate also anybody who's joining on the YouTube channel and also on TikTok. Appreciate y'all joining in. But like I said, this is definitely a movie that very much so gives you both of the social commentary, but also gives you the horror, gives you the comedy at the same time. Very, very good stuff right there. So if you're joining us on TikTok, if you're joining us on YouTube, we are on both TikTok and YouTube. We have the links for those in our bio. We also have the links for those on the About Me on YouTube. We do more stuff on YouTube as well with horror. We talk more movies and all of that, longer form videos, and we have a ton planned out for the week. So make sure you join our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and let me know what you thought about the menu as well in the chat box wherever you're watching or listening. we do have some more lives planned out for the week, is just going to be good for sure. So like I said, I do have a video on the menu coming out this week, more on the expired theory. I went ahead and watched some of it again and checked out some of the like little clocks I could find to see if indeed Margot ate that meat that was expired or not. Because remember, they said if it was over a day of like aged over a day, that she would have some bacteria in her and everything. And this theory has been sort of going all over TikTok, so many people are wondering, is this true, is this not? And I do want to talk about it, so make sure you follow us on YouTube, because we'll be putting up that video tomorrow. But anyways, let me know what you thought about the menu. Did you enjoy it or not? If y'all want to talk about some other movies, we can talk about other movies as well. Just put it in the chat. We went to go watch Megan this weekend twice already, and I do want to talk more about Megan, that sequel that could possibly be. We also saw the new Evil Dead Rise Green Band trailer. I did not know there was a Green Band trailer, and then I now know there's a Green Band trailer that's completely, well, not completely, but somewhat different from the Red Band trailer, and I'm going to make a video talking about those two. We're going on live tomorrow to talk about the horror news, because Eli Roth apparently is doing a Thanksgiving horror movie, and that's been in the works for some time now, so we want to talk about that. And it's our new live show we do every day on YouTube, where we talk horror movie news, mainly horror movie news, but we also throw in some other news as well. And we have some screenings we're going to this week, which we're excited about as well, which is Plane, which just looks like a really bad movie in a way, but a good time at the same time. You know, that really bad good movie you always watch. And also Missing, which is Sony's latest thriller, which I'm excited to check out. So we got a ton of stuff coming, a lot of lives we have planned out. We're going to see if we're going to do them like this, double, like YouTube and TikTok at the same time, because we're both live on YouTube and TikTok. And we're just talking about the menu right now, so let me know what y'all thought. Yeah, I really did love the lady as well. Like I said, I thought she was hilarious as well. Just the way she was expressing herself about the food and everything, and just like not caring, and her fight as well with Anya was just funny, so I really did like that as well. Yeah, so man, I did love her as well in the menu. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of messages and theories going around about what the menu really is about, and I do agree. I think it is definitely a whole thing about elitism. A lot of the patrons that were there eating and everything really felt that were better than a lot of people, especially the finance bros that were there. You could really see it straight through with them. The other ones were sort of like not really showing it off, especially like I said, the married couple. But at the same time, they had their own problems. Then you had the magazine person with the food critic, who was very feeling like she was entitled to a lot, like Chef said. And at the same time, she used her own thing and got a lot of small businesses closed down because of that. Yeah, her poker face definitely was hilarious. That is definitely funny, the way she was just delivering those lines and just like being like no emotion whatsoever. And I really did enjoy seeing her final throwdown with Anya. It was funny in the kitchen. Yeah, I agree. Everybody was just there to sort of say, hey, I'm experiencing this, and to put it up or whatever. It was more of a thing of a social like thing for them than actually enjoying the cooking and the ingredients and the love and passion that actually goes into what Chef wanted to do at the beginning. So I think that's definitely the difference that he saw, and that's the reason that he let Margot go in the end, is because he saw that she was the only one that truly enjoyed his cooking at the end, in comparison to everybody else who was just coming in for the social status of saying, hey, I came to this really fancy restaurant. And I feel like we could even say this kind of like salt-based restaurant that we see online, where people are mainly going to go there to say, I'm eating at this restaurant. So I feel like that's kind of like the easiest comparison we can go to these like celebrity chef restaurants as well. Somebody saying they're going to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant because it's Gordon Ramsay, but they don't really care about what food is going to be served there. And I feel like that's sort of the same thing right there that's happening in the menu with this chef right here, which honestly, it is just a fun time. Like I said earlier in the live, this is a movie that after you watch it, you want to show it to some other people that haven't watched it, and you want to watch it with them just to see their reactions, because it is just hilarious to see them how they react at certain points in the movie, especially when the movie starts to turn and give you something that you weren't expecting. So it is definitely a movie that I feel is like not a challenge movie, but just something that makes you happy to see how others react to it at these twists and turns for sure. Uh, yeah, I agree. She was the only one who did make him smile, and that's just because she found that when his true passion really began was when he was flipping the burgers and he had just started off and everything. So she was making sure that he was going to feel that sort of way again, and that was going to be the only way that she was going to survive, is if she made him be reignited with that passion again for sure. So that definitely was what helped her in the end. So I think that the other reason that the other employees were okay with doing all of this is I feel like it's like sort of saying how people become so passionate with something sometimes that they feel like if they don't make it in anything else, then they're never going to make it at all. And I feel like they were sort of like in a cult of sorts of chefs where they very much so were eager to do whatever it took to please chef, and it had become such a big cult for them that they were going to do whatever it took in order to like appease him and sort of make him happy, and if that meant going out with him, then they were going to go out with him. That's what I think. It sort of became like a cult of sorts, especially the way they were saying the yes chef and everything at the end. It really gave me those cult vibes for sure, with all of the other employees there as well. So that's definitely how I saw that part of why the employees would do what they did as well. So definitely very dark turn the movie did take at the end. It started to feel like a A24 film for real, with that ending with like a cult feeling as well for sure. And yeah, Margot's character was the only one that saw through everything, but that's just because she sort of was like Chef at a point. Chef was like her at a point, and he sort of started to become this elite person, as well as he started to cater to the more rich and powerful. He sort of lost that sort of humility he had when he first started cooking. So I definitely do see how Margot was able to crack that and able to get to him as well. But overall, like I said, this is definitely a movie that I enjoy watching. I enjoyed it. I do want to catch it one more time. Like I said, I do plan on doing like a live watch party for this movie sometime later in the month. And I do want to do more watch parties for other movies, but this is definitely one I do want to start off with. So I'll probably be doing that on YouTube. So if you're watching on TikTok, we're definitely going to be doing this on YouTube. So go check out our YouTube if you haven't. But we're going to be doing it for other movies as well, like Scream and all of that. But The Menu, I think, is just one of those movies you want to check out with others for sure. Yeah, I do agree that that trailer really made me think it was going to be something completely different. And I was thinking, like, The Menu was going to be a movie about, like, cannibals or something like that. And that they were going to be feeding like some of the people to other people or something like that, and it was going to be like survival of the fittest or something when I first saw that the movie. So I was thinking that they were going to do some like something like that, like The Dangerous Game, like basically hunt or be hunted. So that's exactly what I thought as well with that trailer. And I think that the ending, towards the end, when the chef let most of them go out and try to outrun, was sort of a way for him to show that he will let them go if they are able to escape. They're able to escape. But the fact that they were like rich and powerful and elite probably meant that they don't do anything for themselves anymore. And I think that chef knew this, and it was sort of a way to mock them as well, and to sort of have them be like, hey, we can't do anything, we can't survive out here in the wilderness or find a way out, because we're just these elite people that don't know much about like doing real world things or how to like survive or anything like that. And it sort of amused them, I guess, in a bit, to see them like trying to survive out there on their own. I agree. The guy, when he came out and just got the gun out, everybody in the theater when I went to go watch that just completely gasped, and everybody was just like, what is going on? Like, somebody really did like say like, what? Like, it was just crazy. Didn't expect that at all either when that first happened, for sure. But yeah, I do think that Chef was just mocking them towards the end. Just seeing that they couldn't really escape was a kind of a funny thing to him as well, and I think that's why he like just let them out and try to see if they were able to escape or not. But overall, I do think that the Chef was just like incredible. Just watching how that actor was portraying everything, from being so stern in everything at the beginning, and then when he was making that cheeseburger and he was about to cry and all of that. So I really did enjoy seeing him progress throughout the whole movie as how he was. And Margot, I definitely do think she is one of the best final girls out there. How she was able to handle herself in the kitchen throwdown, everything was hilarious, and just being able to escape it all. Like she was just able to get out of there. And Tyler, definitely one of the most despicable things, taking her there, knowing that she was going to be sacrificed just because he wanted to be a part of that as well. Something else I also see people talking about also is, why did nobody try to escape or anything? And I think that's a good question that even Chef himself asked them when he says y'all could have probably outmaneuvered us and probably gotten everybody out of here if y'all actually tried to get out of here. But at the same time, I think they were all still in this spellbind of being with Chef and being there as this sort of like entitled group that was going to be served this fancy food, and that's the reason that they didn't leave, is because they felt entitled still at the end of the day. And they even pay and everything when Chef brings out the bill and all of that, which I thought was hilarious. So definitely a very, very funny and crazy way to end things, right? But yeah, like I said, yeah, I love this movie. It was one of my top movies of last year. I was excited to catch it again when I got the chance to catch it again after the festival. And I definitely do recommend this one if you haven't watched it. It is definitely a very more comedy thriller. I know that the trailer made it seem more of a horror-esque vibe to it, and even the poster for it does as well, because it kind of gives you that cannibal vibe as well, and it came out sort of the same time, like with Bones and all. So I kind of see where that similarity would kind of fall as well with this movie being what it is. Chef was a bit like Jigsaw, getting people. Yeah, I agree. It definitely was him sort of like showing them their sins, showing them their faults, and all of this, how they are. Through the tortillas was a big one for sure. And yeah, I agree. Many of them didn't want to fight back or sort of atone for what they had done in the past or any of that. They sort of were still the same elitist, powerful, rich people they were at the beginning, and didn't try to change for that at all. We saw that at a point also when the magazine lady was talking to the other chef and sort of like trying to bribe her with money and all of this, and trying to get her to help her escape. And of course the other chef was like, you know what, the whole like dying thing and all that was actually my idea. And she's just like, all right, whatever, I don't care anymore. Yeah, I agree. I do believe that once they were like becoming the s'mores and all of that, you definitely saw in them that they sort of like started to repent for everything and sort of start to see what Chef was really talking about. But at the same time, I think maybe they didn't try to escape because they just felt like that's it, this is who we are, or something like that. You know, they didn't really have that fighting force that Margot had, and she was trying to sort of be the only one that did try to do anything. And she could have just gone to go get the barrel and everything. And I feel like if Chef had sent anybody else, they would have just done that. But I think the fact that Margot went, that was why we saw her try to find a way for them to be able to escape in the first place. And I think that Margot was the only one with a fighting spirit of sorts, if you will. But that's just because I think that Margot, coming not from the rich upper class or anything like that, she comes from like lower class, all of that. She definitely has that sort of like fighting spirit of wanting to overcome things and achieve things, whereas the wealthy ones were already in a status that they're just like comfortable and don't care to do anything. So I think that's a part of the reason why they probably didn't fight as much as they should have fought in order to get out of the circumstances. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. We could definitely talk a lot about it, and I do really love talking about this movie because it's one of my favorites. I do want to check it out again and definitely check out some things maybe I hadn't noticed before, just because I enjoy watching it, makes me laugh. But we do have a ton of videos coming out this week. One exactly on the menu tomorrow, and we also do have some other ones on Scream, as well as the Evil Dead trailer. I want to talk more about that. So we are doing more lives, like I said. All week we do lives, so stay tuned over there on YouTube. But yeah, appreciate everybody who came through on TikTok, everybody who came through on YouTube. We're probably about to cut the live right now pretty soon. But like I said, we got a ton of videos, a ton of stuff coming. So make sure that you are following us on YouTube or TikTok. And yeah, appreciate everybody who came through. And we will be going live tomorrow before noon. But it will be uploaded on YouTube as well to talk about some horror news like the Eli Roth Thanksgiving movie that's coming, as well as the Evil Dead, Megan's box office results and all of that. So a ton of stuff to talk about. Appreciate all of you. As always, stay safe.